Today we are here for an exciting conversation powered by ETRetail in association with Yango Tech. We are going to be discussing powering up e-grocery, and I have with me supply and tech experts. We have with us today Priya Arora, the Head of Operations and Management at Modern Bazaar, Yevgeny Chernikov, the COO at Yango Tech, and Anirudh Kala, Head of Supply Chain Management, Hypermart. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So I think these are very exciting times to be discussing grocery retail, and the consumer wants their groceries delivered faster than ever, right? And we'll love to understand what goes behind the scenes. What happens? How do you manage to deliver our groceries within 10 minutes, in 2 hours? And when we are reaching out to you through multiple channels, we don't want that, we don't want this. How does it all happen? And Priya.
So ideally, I would say reaching out in 10 minutes or delivering in 10 minutes is not possible when you have a store, which is like 20,000 square feet. So it is a challenge. When the inventory levels are very high, we have more than 30,000 SKUs. So it's not that easy as it sounds to be. So a lot goes behind the scenes. When a customer orders online and we are supposed to deliver offline, or the customer comes and picks up, so there is a lot of inventory which has to be taken care of. The real-time inventory is paramount. Secondly, the training of the staff, again, how to pick the orders, how to make sure that what the customer has asked for goes into the basket and there are no stockouts. All this are the challenges what a grocery store like us, like Modern Bazaar faces. But we try and manage, at least the real-time inventory as much as possible to make sure that deliveries are on time. And in case we are not able to do so, we are not able to deliver what the customer has asked for, our staff is trained in such a manner that the substitutes are appropriately given to the customers.
Wonderful. I think two very interesting themes you have already highlighted, and we have started on a very good note, right? Anirudh, I'd like to bring you in here, and based on what Priya has shared, is it fair to say that every grocery retailer has to look at their business today from an omni-channel lens?
Yeah, today everyone has to look at from omnichannel because being the penetration of digital, what I can say, the internet and all, with 5G is coming into place. So everyone has a power of internet today. So everyone, and if you see, either it's A-type cities, B-type cities, everyone has, aspiration to place the orders for, though it's Amazon, maybe we can see Reliance and all. So as a retailer, we have to ourselves modify into that system and give our customers a better facility. It facilitates them. So definitely yes. So as Priya said, yes, right. We have to work on inventories on the back end because it increases your load. Our customer in offline coming, just picking the thing, whatever is placed on your shelves. But here, he's seeing, he's comparing on his mobile, on his laptop, and then demanding a product which you are not keeping. But it is a demand that is generating. So in this thing, you require a tech, you require a database, you require analysis running on the back end, which will ensure that if you are finding a certain article for which the demand is coming on a daily basis, and so you have to keep that thing. Otherwise, there is another channel from where the customer will get. So this industry is mainly customer retention industry. It's what I say that this is basically, we are into service industry. We have to retain our customer. In order his retention ensures a loyalty for basically his loyalty for me. So yes, in the back end, to ensure that product is available at that price, he is looking at the market. I have to provide him at that price also in a proper time frame. Yes, because basically it's a service I have to give. And thirdly, I have to ensure a system in the back end which ensures that everything goes fine from picking that article to first mile to last mile. I have to ensure this thing happens in a certain period of time with in a time when we are sitting in 10-minute deliveries, 19-minute deliveries type of things. So we have to be very, very, very dynamic in that thing and more tech enabled. Not now, it's not like the old days, you're just sitting, material is coming and you're getting the customer. So Definitely, it requires
That is
lot
the
and lot of
reason,
things.
I guess, the blend of online and offline
Yeah.
has to be there.
Absolutely. I think, and you mentioned a very important word, demand sensing. I think I'll put a pin on that and get back to that later. But Kenny, I want to get your comments on it. Omnichannel and grocery retailers, like Priya said, online and offline coming together. How do you place the two?
Yeah, I think that's like of paramount of importance of marry those two things in the modern world. And as you rightly mentioned, right, if the grocery retailers who are in existence now fail to satisfy the customer needs, someone else will do that. And then we have seen these examples all around the world that those who actually failed to adapt, to innovate, and to give that service, some of them failed to grow and some of them ceased to exist. And we see again and again the mature markets, in the developed markets, that bigger and bigger share of revenue of the established grocery retailers is coming from the online now. India is actually a unique place in this sense because thanks to a massive influx of venture capital and of this nation being so entrepreneurial, the newcomers, the digital first players are now setting the bar really, really high with their speed of delivery, with their quality of delivery, in-time deliveries, zero out of stock. They were digital first.
No, but can I just...
Of course, of course.
So the point is, these 10-minute delivery people, I don't want to name them, they do not have that kind of SKU list that stores like Modern Bazaar have. They have very limited SKUs, and they do not have that kind of a variety that we offer, be it from the imported goods to, to atta, dal, chawal also, the rice, the staple food. So for us, it is more difficult because we're running an in-store also and online as well, e-commerce also. So to maintain that real-time data and to retain the customer is more challenging than the ones who are just, operating from the warehouses, not running a real-time store.
Absolutely.
So,
Priya, can you, for a brand like yours, can you go a little specific at what worked for you guys, or how did you strategize at building this gap? When an online channel came into the picture, what did Modern Bazaar do?
Absolutely. So now I would like to just give you a little bit of background. Now, when the pandemic happened, unfortunately, that is the time we were not very, very what you call active online. But you know what we went to old school, and we had these WhatsApp groups. Like, every store had a WhatsApp group, which was like Modern Bazaar and to the area like the society. So we had like multiple WhatsApp groups, which the customers were sending their messages on. And we were operating like an old time, that Kiryana wala shop types. And the experience what the customers gathered, and the supply chain, and whatever the way we managed supplying at that time also, the customers were like, they're thankful till date, because it was easier for them to order WhatsApp than to order on an online platform. So that became I would say that became a win-win situation for the two of us. It was easier for us also, and we could give the substitutes. Taking it further now, after the pandemic, that is when we decided now we have to go all out for online. And in today's time, we are 15% of our revenue is coming from the online, which is huge, And we plan to go all out to come at least, double up in the next coming year or so. So this is what we plan doing. And I think we are on the right path, but we need to have artificial intelligence and things like chatbots and all, so that, the customers are reachable. They can reach out to us in all the possible ways. So yes, we would seek your help on that.
Really happy to help.
I'll just like to bring you in here and understand the journey for Hypermart. How did you go omnichannel?
I think Modern Bazaar has evolved to some point. Okay, so we are basically planning and we are, working on something where we can ensure this type of thing. So as I said, when you go into this omni-channel type of thing, you have, because customer can demand anything. It's not an offline store, it's an online store. So what we are thinking, or what we are, into it, we are maybe going into what I call something called marketplace type of thing. We will be partnering with some local shops, or we will be partnering. Say, I am a store, but I do not keep each and every cosmetic, but there are exclusive cosmetic shops. Okay, so what we are trying to do, or what we are trying to make is we are partnering with them. Whatever order flows to me, it goes to that shop also, and my picker will pick that thing and deliver it to a customer. What this Swiggy, Zini, and means all these are doing. But this is what, as a offline retailer and as a dynamic, what we want to add a dynamic perspective to our basically our business. So we are thinking on this thing also. With the support of tech, we will be having some partners. Each and every SKU I cannot keep. I have limitations. I have limitations of money. I have limitations of funds and all in place. Secondly, the limitations is that I cannot purchase each and everything because it will increase my cash flows, and when it will be a burden on my basically my funds. So this is a thing what we are thinking and we are planning to move into, because this thing is adopted by a lot of retailers in today's time. If you go by one of our biggest, the e-commerce site, that is Amazon, but they are basically a marketplace also. So in this thing, customer on my app, he sees my inventory also, but yes, we will club that inventory also into our inventory with that set of SKUs, and we will show it to the customer. This is available with us. He will not know, okay, I am purchasing it from which shop, but yes, I'm giving him the service. So it adds to loyalty, okay, and then with that he will purchase other articles. He will come to my store also to experience that thing. Okay, he'll see what type of art is and how they are doing. So this is something on the lines we are thinking of to move ahead.
I think, very interesting. Maybe we have two different models, two different propositions. One is a large size store which can keep multiple SKUs. One is a relatively smaller size stores who don't want to keep so many SKUs. How do you put in tech in between these? Should there be personalized solutions for the two differently?
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming back to that question, which we actually touched on one of our previous sessions today, right? Which is the customer value proposition. So, what is our value proposition? So, obviously, you have a massive assortment, and very few participants can ever match what you have been building for decades, right? That's absolutely unique. However, you have a challenge in the other aspects of the value proposition, where they have fast delivery and fast pick packing, simply because that is impossible to do. Even to walk around the store in 3 minutes, let alone to pick pack the whole customer order, right? And but however, at the same time, the price which you can actually give to your customers is probably better than some of the smaller market participants can do, right? So now we have these aspects of the value proposition: the price, the assortment, and the time, or sort of accessibility, right? Now, the first question which we need to decide is like, what is that value proposition which determines our competitive positioning? And then technology comes to enable whichever that would be, and in whichever aspect of the value proposition you want to enhance. So here in your case, I'm hearing that you need the real-time inventory, and that's something that you're working on, right? So
because I cannot overstock, I cannot understock. So that's a huge challenge. And I cannot, because it's a negative, what shows online, and if it's not available in store, and I'm giving a substitute to the customer, it turns as a negative. I do not want any negatives. So I want real-time inventory.
100%. And there is a technology which enables to do just that, right? In your case, what you are talking about is enabling essentially the marketplace model, where on the concession basis, essentially the other companies are listing their inventory, which you might hold, might not hold at all, right? But here comes the risk that you might accept the order and your partner, your vendor or marketplace partner, merchant, however you call him, fails to deliver. However, your reputation is at stake now, right? So here you would need the technology which helps you to manage those merchants, right? So, of course, we as a comprehensive tech provider, we would have like pretty much everything what is needed for either value proposition which you decide to give. But I think the key here is not only about the technology. The key here is the experience, because the market is changing so fast and the competition is changing so fast that at certain times you wouldn't necessarily even know what technology to look for. And I think these days, like coming back to the subject where you said that the technologists and the retailers need to come together, and that must be the essentially the marriage of two, the true partnership. Because there is no shortage of the tech companies who are just trying to sell something for the sake of selling the billable hours of development. However, in the modern world, to progress, we must figure out a system where the retailers and the technologists are mutually incentivized to grow together, where my success is determined by your success.
I think very nicely put, yeah. One, I want to just maybe go a little deeper and understand in this process of streamlining multiple channels beyond real-time inventory. What is the biggest challenge, players like you are facing today? And yeah, Anirudh, if you can share your
See, the
thoughts on that.
biggest challenge what we are facing is, the supply chain from vendors and suppliers and to me. See, there are a lot of suppliers, lot of players today. So you have big players like Reliance, DMart who have, very much big orders. Okay. So a supplier has either, a limited production line. So the challenge is to get 100% of what you have ordered. Your fill rate should be 100%. And if your fill rates are 100%, definitely you are going to give customers the 100%. So your app or your store will have 100% visibility of every article. If I am keeping 80 lines of some brand, it should be available at any point of time, because those contribute to my revenue, whatever the line is there. So what we say, we call there are what we call is KVIs, that is a key value articles basically. So KVIs are something which are demanded by everyone. If you say there is a certain product, if you say 10 rupees Maggi, it's a KVI, everyone wants that. So it should be there in your store in a sufficient quantity, because if a customer is ordering that particular thing, so there are 30-40% orders will be there. So this requires constant monitoring of purchase orders to vendors, then suppliers from them. Then my DC should have the capability to accept, keep the material and then supply it to my stores, and then say at the same time my app is updated. Yes, these stocks are available at any point of time. I do not want a customer will see I have zero stock on that thing. So these are the KVIs, these are certain SKUs which I want every time to be fulfilled. So this is the biggest challenge in today's time, in order to get 100% fulfillment from your suppliers and all, and give them to your basically to your customers. So this is the main challenge. Second challenge what I feel is basically the cost of handling the entire, what I can say, this supplying from DC to your stores. Okay, ensuring that damages are not there. Okay, and side by side you are cleaning your inventories also. Means you are means if you are carrying 14,000 SKUs, so you should always have to analyze those. Okay, either they are selling or not. 14,000 is just a figure, but when you see those 14,000 in terms of 100 pieces, it becomes somewhere around 14 lakhs or something. But you have to have that insight on your, basically on your inventories, okay, how they are behaving. Basically, you must know, okay, if it shouldn't happen, I'm ordering something and it's not going, it's not selling, it's just a less sellable thing. So what happened? Inventory is cash. As soon as it gets sells, I get my money back. So I want that to be rotated, within 3 to 4 days, or if it rotates in a week, it is good for me. But if it takes 3 months, it sits there, so it's blocking my revenue. So this is the one thing, this is the pain area of every retailer. Maybe it's online, offline, everyone has to face this. What is called is, your expiries, it gets damaged. So damages also, these are a certain cost which we have to take on our own, and it eats up our margins.
Wow. Priya, what would you like to add?
I would agree on the supply chain optimization. And I would want that, because the customer is very brand conscious in today's time. And according to me, what I have seen, the demand and supply They go hand in hand, okay? Now, if a customer of a certain generation, the older the generation, as I was discussing earlier also, it is like, they stick to a brand. They are not very easy with changing the brands. But the younger the generation, they still go ahead and change the brand, and they are okay with the substitutes. But what is most important is that to maintain the supply chain optimization, and also, as per the demand, have the supply. You're getting my point? That is, I think it is the key to success of any online or offline platform. At the same time, maintaining the stocks, whatever is fast moving, and not keeping the stocks which are not moving at all. So I think most of our inventory is on 100% RTV model, on the replacement model. We do not purchase stuff. So that way we are at ease. We do not have to worry about the expiries to that extent, except for the imported goods, which we import ourselves. So yes, for that we have to maintain. And we also try whenever, like abroad, whenever the product is close to expiry or something, we try and give huge discounts like buy one, get one, or the 50% or something like that to reduce the expiries. And the customers love it. They love it simply. So
two important themes, highlighted for a retailer to identify your KVI or to push a discount or an offer, right? And which area to give what offer, which brand to give an offer on. For all of these personalizations to come into the picture, you have to understand your customers' data.
Absolutely.
Right?
Data analytics is like extremely important.
Yeah.
The customer preferences are changing day to day. So we have to be in line with the demand of the customer.
Yes. Yeah.
And have the products which are like the fast-selling ones. The fast-selling ones can never be out of stock.
Yes. Yeah. So as a brand, what has been your, maybe strategy, your journey, or your focus in terms of understanding this data?
So we have a huge customer database.
Yeah.
So, analyzing is like, it is like a forte, because we cannot live without that. We cannot move forward without that. So we have to analyze the customer demands on a very regular basis. I dig out the details from the software, that which are the items, which are the most 1,000 top fast sellers. And depending on that, I make sure as the head of operations that, those 1,000 top sellers are always available in stores, so that I never go out of stock, But at the same time, I have to clean the data of the items which have not been moving, because I can't overstock, because that's a loss. I cannot have the items which do not move in the store and make it a cluttered this thing. You getting my point? So it has to be a clean, because when we talk about, there are two things. One is online, one is in-store experience. So I have to give the customer that in-store experience also, which is very therapeutic. If I talk about me as a person, I think I am the last person to order online, because I find shopping very therapeutic. So I would like to give the customers of Modern Bazaar the same therapeutic experience in store as well, not just online. Because when I talk about omnichannel, I'm not just restricted to, the online. I am also talking about in-store experience. And I think till date, the kind of experience what the Modern Bazaar customer gets in store, they cannot get it anywhere. They cannot get it anywhere because of the layout, because of the aisles, the way they are displayed, because display plays a very important role in in-store shopping. Yeah.
Maybe I'd like to bring you here, using data and trickling it down to your supply chain operations, the cores of building a grocery business, to expanding it to in-store experience, to your online experience. What should a retailer strategy look like?
Yeah, definitely data is the key enabler. However good technology, however good prediction you want to make, it's as good as your inputs, right? So if your inputs are not correct, if you are not able to extract the data, if you are not able to track it, then it is extremely hard to make considerate, informed decisions on whatever it is. Like you are coming up with the promotions, or for example, you want to sell off the stock which is pre-expiration, right? So if you know the expiration dates of every single batch, so your system would need to support would need to have in it different batches with different expiration dates. All right, so. And many systems still don't support it. Then there are some items which are not moving, right? So, but maybe they are just in their own location, and unless your system actually supports and you can actually understand where the items which are not being sold are located. Maybe they're not being sold because customers don't see them. Many of the retailers these days, their inventory system don't differentiate between the back room and the shop floor, right? So extremely hard to make informed decisions in this situation, no matter what like kind of promotional activity or what like kind of client facing technologies you have if your backend is not sorted. So yeah, so this is the data points which you definitely need to collect and which actually enable you to operate efficiently. And I think you mentioned like the absolute key here about the customer experience, right? So, and I love the way how you put it. It's a therapeutic effect, right? In many countries where there is not, for example, in the Middle East, right? They don't, and we operate in the Middle East. We are doing like, well, tens of thousands of daily orders there, right? Soon going to be hundreds of thousands, and as they grow fast. But they don't have, in some of the countries, they don't have as many things to do, and those beautiful landscapes as you have in India. And you spend quite a bit of time in Dubai, but think about places like Saudi, think about places like Oman, Kuwait, and those places are still at the stage where they are building up. And for many of their customers, the grocery shopping is experience. It's a family experience. They come there with the families on the weekends, right? So how can I match the offline experience in the digital world where my shop front is on the screen of sometimes rather inexpensive phone, right? And here the technology comes to play. Those things, those tools which you have been using for decades, sell off the stock which is pre-expiration, meal deals, kits, promotions, right? All of these functionalities, they need to come to the client-facing apps, right? And then all of this needs to be connected to the back end. Otherwise, you might end up selling off something that you actually don't want to put on promotion, right? So here, like in conclusion, I would say again, it's like very much about connecting the offline and the online. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. I think that was a very detailed answer. Anirudh, I'd like to get your point of view on here. How has your journey looked like with using data across your supply chain operations? And again, if you can highlight what has been the biggest pain point, during this process.
See, my journey with retail and supply chain, as I worked through, yeah, data is an important aspect. Prior to this online and all, maximum retail in India is going on offline. So it's more like, as a category, as a supply chain, we are, continuously analyzing the sales trends. We are taking 6-month data, then analyzing them, what is selling, what is not, and then, cleaning up our SKUs. And brand every time after 2 months come up with some new product, some new innovation. So that it needs to be placed, and they have their aspiration, and they give you so many offers and all that. You say, okay, place it on my shelves. But it depends if it's moving or not. So they are marketing the thing. They are marketing on TV. They are marketing at a time. So, but currently with this all the influx of this digital coming into it, we have a lot of online players and all. So today data mining is something which is really, really, really important thing. And as you know, the costs in retail, the margins on which you are working are very thin, because you have to get each and every cost from those margins. So firstly, as from my perspective, my thinking, I always continuously monitors my data every 7 to 8 days. What is happening? How my stores are behaving. This is what I think I want to apply for my online also. Okay, and secondly is what I do. I always refrain from taking such stocks which sits on my shelves for more than 3-4 months, because it is clear to me that they are blocking my money. Okay, so I do not believe in more in RTVs and all. If someone says this is RTV and I have to keep it for 2 years, it's better you take it back. Okay, let me have those SKUs which are, give a rotation within a month, because it sells, I get my margin, okay, and then I purchase the new things. So it happens. So this way is what we are trying to work. Same thing we are going to, when we enter into this omni-channel segment, this is what we are going to do. Customer will demand each and everything. I have to see, okay, I have that type of what I can say, tech, that type of storage, that type of bandwidth to handle what I can say, that type of influx of orders. If I am say in online, in offline, if say I'm catering to in a month say around 1 lakh customers, and with online it will become 1 CR. So I also have to check my capacities. Na? So this is a thing. So continuously working on the data, continuously analyzing what are the things, what are the SKUs the customer demands most. Let's work on that, and let's keep some other SKUs for other players also.
Wonderful. I think that was a very honest answer. Thank you so much for
sweet.
that. Maybe I want to get maybe an insight from you here. Do investments or adoption of tech-based solutions for supply chain optimization by retailers, does that have a direct impact or a benefit, a positive impact on their overall logistics or supply chain costs? Have you seen a trend on those lines?
Oh, 100%. I mean, we definitely, we as a technology company, we look at everything what we developed, what we build, what we integrate, and what we offer to the market from the P&L point of view, right? So we, if this is some sort of the supply chain optimization that needs to reduce the cost of mid-mile by a few percentage points, right? And from this percentage, only from this percentage, technology companies can take their money. It's like, because otherwise it does not make sense. So the technology, of course, the investment makes sense, and the inability to invest into the technology is going to, and we've seen it again and again in different markets, is going to put many companies out of the markets. However, the grocery retail business is a single-digit EBITDA business, right? So I cannot be coming to the grocery retailers and asking them for the massive upfront costs when their margins are thin. Their margins are thin. The gross margin could be anywhere from, say, 11 to maybe 19%, and maybe a little bit more on gourmet products, but on the mass market, which many companies operate here, the margins are thin. And in this gross margin, they need to run their offline store, they need to run their marketing, they need to run their supply chain, their distribution centers, their returns. Salaries of all of these overheads, the headquarters, it's massive. It's massive. And if we are coming with the technology, we must look, okay, how much more efficient they can run and how much more new revenue we can deliver. So my approach, our approach is, and our offer is like easier to adopt, because we're saying, look, there is massive growing online, and you can see it left, right, and center that this is new revenue, or this is the revenue which is being stolen from you. So when you invest in here, you're getting the new revenue, so I'm adding to the top line. At the same time, whenever I'm offering the middle mile or the last mile optimization, I'm saying I can easily calculate straight away. Look, what's your cost here? You have that many people, that many route optimization, minus 1%, the batching, minus whatever percent, pickpacking, minus this percent. I can see the inventory in real time, the expirations, the on-shelf availability, direct impact on the average basket. So every single thing I optimize, the impact onto the P&L, and then it actually makes sense. So then the grocery retailer can open their P&L, look at whatever we are the technology providers offering, and say, okay, look, I'm going to invest this money, and this is when I'm going to get back, and this is when I'm actually going to be more efficient than my competitors. So first year, second year, third year. But to offer anything like this, I must understand their P&L, their cost structure, their business. I must live it. I must go into the stores, I must go into distribution centers, I must understand how their supply chain work, and I must be capable of building their P&L and understanding how I impact this. And here, the experience of the companies who actually been there, done that, comes into play. Anyone can hire like 10, 20, and in this country, hundreds of developers. There is no shortage of the entrepreneurial talent in this country and the developers. However, telling them what to do and getting them to understand something that you guys have been doing for decades, that's the challenge. That's the challenge. And here we come to play where we're trying to understand like what the retailers want. And we seen this in the different markets. So we kind of understand what challenges you are not going to face tomorrow, but what challenges are going to be after tomorrow. And I think this is the key for the technology companies, is to actually ask, if you work with grocery retailers, ask them, what are you doing? How are you doing? Understand their business and live through their business. I think this is the key. Would you agree, guys?
Totally. If we are able to get a technology partner like them, I think grocery stores like ours, this is what actually we look at. The technology partner has to tell us what is it that, they will give us in plus. Not only their what we are paying them. It is, people are getting very commercial. It's not about just paying the technology partner. The technology partner, after surveying the complete grocery, like he says, we'll go to store and see what exactly and how we work. And post that, he tells us that this is what you need to do and this is what will save you this bit. It is fun to go with a technology partner like him.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. I think there's a clear need for more personalized solutions for retailers.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
rightly. Because people are getting very commercial, and you really do not understand like whether you are in the right hands or you're just being played around. So I think he's the right person.
Thank you guys.
I think this conversation, this was very candid, and now we'll wrap this conversation. And before we close, I want to get a closing comment from you all. Anurag, I'll start with you. What is that one trend in the grocery retail space catering to India that you believe will be the one big trend?
See, the biggest trend, what we will see or what should happen in our basically this sector is more and more people coming, online. Basically, we have a huge population, we have a huge demography, but still basically the online, what we'll see, the sales are in grocery just around 7 to 8% penetration of our total retail business. So definitely this is a growing segment. What I think is conversions, whether it's offline, online, it should be more. A customer coming to online should be converted and he should be, taking the product. So conversions, interaction of the customer, so it should be, more dynamic, more interesting for them to come to online as an attraction. So what I feel this will, totally change the entire landscape of retailing in India. This is what I feel should happen.
Wow, wonderful. Priya, what would you bet?
I would like to differ a little bit. I would not say that I would only focus on online. I would also, as I earlier also said, I would want the in-store experience also to be seamless. And I would, in fact, I would want more and more people to come to the store. I have a very selfish reason behind it. Because when you go shopping and you go for one thing, you'll end up buying a couple of more things, This is being very honest. When you're shopping online, you stick to the certain things and you just, So I would say, yes, I would want the customers walk-in to be more, and I would want to retain the customers. The customer retention for me is very important for whatever it takes, be it analyzing the data or using of AI or getting in, the blockchain technologies or partnering, with technology partners like them would also make a lot of difference to us. This is what I personally feel. And at the end of the day, it has to be the customer satisfaction. It's like the key.
Absolutely. That's completely on point.
Absolutely.
Maybe what would you like to say, the one big trend?
Well, yeah, I think we discussed trends a few times, and I absolutely loved how you guys put it like that. What is happening, and that following the trends, we must like kind of keep in mind customer satisfaction, and must retain the customers which we already have, and the newly acquired customers as well. I think I'll throw a few numbers here talking about the trends. We in India, the penetration of modern trade can be measured anywhere, let's say, from 12 to maybe 19%, depending on how you count it. And as we look at it, it's like probably $500-700 billion altogether market, right? So now, with this sort of penetration of the modern trade, imagine how much more opportunity there, because let's be honest, the Kirana store experience is an interesting experience and it has its place. However, all of those underserved customers who are spending the bulk share of this $500-600 billion, wouldn't they want to experience what you guys are offering in your stores? And big share of your customers are already ordering online or want to order online. So all of these people are soon enough, with the economic growth of India, are going to demand something that you have to offer, including the offline experience, which you emphasize. Of course, that's bread and butter, and it's not going anywhere, right? As well as that they're going to ask for the online experience to match that quality which you are given offline. So this opportunity is unprecedented and uncomparable. And I think we are very lucky to meet here and to have a chance to participate in this tremendous shift or a trend, however you call it.
Okay, wonderful. I think this was again very rightly put. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. This was a super insightful conversation. I'm personally taking 2 or 3 points with me, today. And yeah, thank you again for joining us. For more such conversations, stay tuned at ET Retail.